Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. A hospital room with poor lighting. Sitting in bed 58-year, Angela Deem seems delicate but driven. The air is filled with constant beeping monitors, a repetitive reminder of her vulnerability. Over her frame, a thin hospital robe falls sharply against her brown skin. The room smells antiseptic, a far cry from the coziness she used to know in her house. Ignorant of her anguish, the metropolis hums beyond the window. The night is broken by the far-off wail of sirens, a brutal reminder that nobody pauses in the world for suffering. Angela fights the need to cry, to let her loneliness overwhelm her, with twitching fingers. Trying to call up the strength that has brought her through so many conflicts before, she closes her mouth and inhales deeply. She is usually tough, always the warrior. But tonight, as she fixes her gaze on the ceiling, everything feels as though it were an intolerable vice pressing down her chest. A nurse comes into the room changing the four-drip. She moves silently, her presence soft and nearly contrite. Angela scoffs as she advises Angela to relax and gather strength for what is ahead. Rest. Restlessness results from your entire universe collapsing. After a little sympathetic nod, the nurse leaves Angela by herself with her thoughts once more. Her phone is dark, so she moves her head toward the bedside table. To quiet the ideas shouting in her head, she wants to toss it across the room. She longs for connection too, for a voice that can assure her she is not alone. Hesitating for only a moment, she grabs it and runs across her contacts, stopping at a familiar name. Michael. Her breath freezes in her mouth. Michael's once swearing, the man will constantly be at her side. The man who promised a lifetime turned around and handed her memories. Memories that today seem like ghosts prowling her every waking hour. She triggers the call button. The ringing starts, reverberating fiercely over the quiet of the room. Every ring is a countdown, every second an appeal for the past to come hurrying back. Perhaps, just perhaps, he will respond. Michael Ilisammi is staring at his phone as it rattles on the table thousands of kilometers distant in a little apartment in Nigeria. His chest contracts at the name that shows on the screen. He had vowed himself he would not turn around, he would not let himself be dragged back into the anarchy once more. But here she is, reaching out over their divide. And now here he is, unable to ignore it. His thumb wanders over the screen. One tap, and she was back in his hearing. He doesn't, though. He stumbles. He observing. He lets it ring out then as well. Angela listens to the automated voicemail message run. Her heart slides down into her gut. She blinks back the tears that threaten to flow over by hard swallowing. She speaks with a scratch in her voice. Hello, Michael. I have no idea why I am even phoning. Perhaps all I wanted was your voice. Perhaps I should have said that tomorrow I have surgery. Mammary cancer. She stops, chewing her lip as she waits for an unreachable response. The doctors say it's going to be a long road, she says. And you most likely have no interest, but she pauses to herself. She finds it impossible to express the words she wants to. Her missing him. She needs him, really. She's terrified then. Between them is silence, an ocean of unheard words and unfulfilled promises. She finally lets out a sorrowful smile, pulling exhalation. Still, she says in a whisper. Just felt you ought to know. She hangs, then throws the phone into the bed. She leans back against the pillows, sigh deeply, then fixes her eyes on the ceiling. Loneliness weights her down on her chest. The hospital room seems cooler than it did earlier. Like a horrible movie reel, memories whirl about her. Her heart full with optimism, she sees herself laughing on video conferences with Michael. She watches their wedding day in Nigeria, the way his hand felt in hers as they vowed lifetime. She sees the day she chose to turn her life around, having weight loss surgery in an effort to be healthier and create the future they had in mind. Those days seem as another lifetime now, owned by someone else. She shuts her eyes, ready herself to fall asleep, but relaxation is difficult. The evening is long, unbounded, and merciless. She moves in bed trying for comfort, but it eludes her. The agony is not only bodily, it is the anguish of loss, the sting of abandonment, the calm horror of alone facing the future. Morning shows up slowly, the faint gleam of dawn slinking through the window. She is taken from her agitated thoughts by a knock at the door. Back among us is the nurse pushing a wheelchair. It is time, Angela. Angela inhales deeply, then forces herself straight. Her body objects, weak from tiredness, but she keeps quiet about it. She will not allow anyone view her as delicate. She lets the nurse assist her into the wheelchair while grabbing its armrests. Her name is called just as they start to move her toward the surgical room. Jojo. Wearing a worried expression, Angela's best buddy bolts down the corridor. She takes Angela's hand and tightens it. You got this, Jojo says quietly. You are the strongest lady I have known. Angela smiles, her lips quivering in opposition. She will not let this shatter her. She is not letting cancer prevail. She disappears through the heavy operating room doors, one last glimpse at Jojo, leaving Jojo standing in the sterile corridor cleaning away a tear. Michael is miles away in his apartment sitting by himself. The room gold as the morning light leaks through the curtains. He fixes his phone and keeps going over Angela's voicemail. Her voice is unvarnished, sensitive in a way he has not heard before. Guilt spreads across his face. He lets out a long breath, recollections of what once was, of what may have been whirling in his head. Lost in contemplation, he whispers her name, just above a whisper. But the instant passes, buried in the silence of a vacant room. Setting the phone down, he runs a palm over his face. Though he does nothing, the weight of the past hangs thick and stifling. Still caught between regret and the life he decided to leave behind is he. The hospital hums with life as the city wakes. Angela's surgery starts. The physicians work assiduously, their tones quiet and exact. With hands securely clenched, Jojo sits in the waiting area and silently prays into the emptiness. There are hours of on. Time has weight that is intolerable. Angela wanders subtly in her subconscious. She dreams of better times, dancing in the kitchen, her grandchildren laughing, Michael's arms around her, offering a future never arrived. Then, gradually, the dreams fade and an unyielding brilliance takes front stage. She needs to fight to get back. The war has started. Beyond, the world carries on. But Angela sees this as everything. It is her junction of history and present. And only time will indicate her direction of travel. This gossip is over. If you like the video, then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.